Welcome to RidgeLife. Today we're going to do a review of the STX Dehydra 600 watt Food Dehydrator. It is a 10 tray dehydrator. Comes with a screen for small materials to keep from falling down through the grate. The STX has analog controls. The dial goes from 95 to 155 degrees Fahrenheit. 95 to 125 is a good temperature for dehydrating herbs, 110 to 115 for raising bread, 115 for making yogurt, 120 to 135 for drying out vegetables, 135 to 145 for fruit and fruit rolls, and 145 to 155 for meats, jerkies, and fish. I've made jerky in this dehydrator a few times and it's turned out perfectly. Okay, with the trays removed, you can see it has a large fan in the back with a screen that separates it for a good air void to allow even airflow across the trays. One of the concerns with the dehydrator is how loud it is to operate. The STX 600 does have a large fan and moves lots of air, but is not that loud. Our refrigerator is going in the background and is making considerable noise. When I turn the dehydrator on, you'll see it's just slightly louder than the refrigerator running. This is with the trays out. With the trays in, and significantly quieter. If you look closely in the back, you'll see the heating elements around the fan. Even though the STX Dehydra 600 is made in China, I found it to be a fairly reliable, sturdy piece of equipment. It is all plastic with the exception of the very back panel that holds the fan is metal. The trays are plastic. I did have one issue with this one broke, but that was because I handled it a little bit too roughly. But the rest are all intact and hold up pretty well to washing. Okay, our dehydrator has been running about 30 minutes, and the meat thermometer says it's up to 150. We're at 155 on the dial, and that's pretty close, about as close as it's going to get. Now, what I have been noticing is when the thermostat cycles, it's going down to about 140 and then up to 150. So it's got a 10-degree swing on the thermostat cycle. Our next step in this review is to use it to make some jerky. So I've got some marinated venison all ready to prepare, and we will be putting it in here and showing you the progress throughout its cook cycle, and we'll be eating some venison before the night's over. Okay, one of the first steps we cook our venison jerky is we'll pull it out of the marinade. You want to get it dried off a little bit. You don't want to put sopping wet meat in your dehydrator. It'll take much, much longer. You also want to make sure everything's laid out flat so there's no crevices for it to collect moisture in and dry unevenly. So I just lay it all out as flat as possible. And when I made this jerky, I tried to make it about 1/8 of an inch thick. I let it thaw a little bit too much. It's best to have it a little frozen, and that way it's easier to cut. And 1/8 of an inch thick is perfect. This is getting closer to 1/4 of an inch, so we're going to have more thicker jerky here. And there's the whole debate whether you want to cut with the grain or across the grain. If you cut across the grain, it's going to be easier to tear apart. If you're using some really tender meat, it may be too tender to just fall apart on you. If you're using some tough meat, then maybe across the grain is for you. So once I get this laid out, I'll just dry it off and then we'll put it in the dehydrator. Again, this is venison. This is a buck I shot during muzzleloading season. Matter of fact, this is the very last bit of it. Alright, so got it laid out there. Here, a piece of, and I just pat it. There we go. And it's time to put in the dehydrator. Okay, I like to pre-disinfect or sanitize our jerky before putting it in the dehydrator. The lowest my oven will go is 170. So I put it in 170 here for about 15 to 20 minutes. Don't want to cook it, just want to disinfect it, and then we'll get it in the dehydrator for 3 to 4 hours, depending on the thickness, how quick it dries. Putting it in the trays. I'm going to start with the top tray and work my way down. I want to lay it out long and flat. See, we got a lot of jerky here. And when I disinfected it, I didn't cook it, I just heated it up to about 160. You want to leave it at 160 for about 15, 20, 30 minutes the most, just to make sure you kill all the bacteria. Just the dehydrating of meat, 130, 140 doesn't do a very good job of disinfecting. Does a great job of drying, but not necessarily disinfecting. So again, I want to make sure there's no folds or creases like that right there. That would have got me. Don't want anything folded up. It'll take much longer to dry. It won't dry evenly. See, I've got 10 trays. If you're wanting to know the recipe for this, this is RidgeLife sweet and peppered cidered venison jerky. I've got that on our channel here, so you just look for it. It's a delicious, one of my favorite venison jerky recipes. One tray. We'll finish up the rest of this. You can see how much we've got here, and we'll have jerky soon. Okay, it's been 4.5 hours. I think we're at our dry point. Let's turn it off, pull it out, and there's our jerky. You can tell whenever it tears, it doesn't crack. Oh yeah, dry, just right. Not crunchy, not chewy. Well, that was fun making venison jerky. Turned out great. We're looking forward to sharing this with friends and family. Hope you enjoyed the review of the dehydrator. It's really working out well for us, and hopefully if you choose to buy one, it'll work out well for you as well. If you can, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to be notified of new videos, hit the notification bell. We sure appreciate it, and until next time, have a blessed day and go RidgeLife.